It's the Mecca. New York is the Mecca for sports. All the monumental players, teams, venues, the Garden.
This casino in Schenectady became the first in the state to take wagers yesterday.
People from the downstate area in New York are frustrated because right now, if they wanted to place a sports wager, they'd have to get in their car and drive 2 hours north to Resorts World Catskills.
They hop on a quick train ride to Hoboken Terminal, New Jersey, where online betting is already legal.
And so it's the hysterical thing is that the New Jersey transportation hubs have really become conduits for sports wagering.
Well, you see a lot of degenerates on their lunch break going over there. If they have about a 45-minute window, they'll go and they'll put their bets in.
So between the money going to New Jersey, roughly $830 million, and the illegal betting that goes on in New York, you're looking at New York losing $1 billion a year.
The betting capital of New York is New Jersey. That's if you're doing it the legal way.
This is a three, and it goes down. No lock.
My name is Nick Deus. I am a digital content creator, podcast host, degenerate gambler, all of the above mixed into me. Sports betting is the one thing that separates me in the world of sports from everybody else. It's a thrill ride. It's just the adrenaline is so crazy to me. And I was about 7 or 8 years old when I first got exposed to sports betting. Knew nothing about it, but my uncle came up to me with a parlay card and he said, pick 4 teams. And I did, again, not knowing anything. Comes back the next week, he hit his bet and he gave me $20. I thought, like everyone does initially when they get into sports betting, that this is gonna be easy. Spoiler, not easy at all.
Morant with a running start, elevate.
The underground scene in New York back in the day, it still exists, but it was all websites and offshore stuff that were on credit. You had a $500 limit. Your week starts on Monday like a normal work week would, and you have until Sunday to either win some money or to use up your credit. The following week, depending on what you and your bookie arranged for, you would meet them at a supermarket parking lot to either pay your losses or to collect your winnings. I think when anything is legal, people are more inclined to feel comfortable doing it. They don't feel as if they're cheating the system or they're doing some shady shit. The way you do it the legal way in New York, you hop on a bus or a train, you go right over to New Jersey. We're in Queens right now. We're heading to New Jersey for some legal mobile sports betting. We're waiting for the train right now in Queens to go into the city to hop on the path to go into Hoboken. Just to go and place one bet, it's about 2.5 hours round trip. If this was legal in New York, it would probably take me about 15 seconds and I could do it on my couch. So when you finally get to New Jersey, you can take your phone out and it'll check your location to show that you're no longer in New York State. And this is the kind of route that you gotta take to go and place a bet. You log into your account, and then you have the menu or the dashboard of whatever bet you want to make. So right now, I'm going to make some bets for UFC 257, Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. You click on your bets, you have your money on your account, go ahead and rock and roll. So you want to find someone that's going to finish an opponent in the first round via submission. You could get some better odds than betting them at minus 500 to just win outright. Confirm. And that's it. The bet is live. I wish we didn't have to come all the way to Jersey to do this, but it is what it is.
New York's already proven it's okay with many different forms of gambling. It has casinos and tribal casinos and horse racing, and sports betting is the natural evolution of that. There's plenty of other states that have done this and done it in a way that makes sense, and I think New York can follow that.
But it doesn't maximize its potential without the mobile device. Jersey did about $58 million in sports wagering in October. New York did $2.6 million. In a 2019 study, it said that roughly $830 million of New York money went to New Jersey for sports wagering. And that pains me, as certainly as an elected official here in New York. And you want to retain that money here in your own state.
it's a convenience thing, right? Me being in Queens, New York, and it's 7:30, 8:30 is when Monday Night Football kicks off. I don't want to go into Jersey.
Clearly, the local bookie has been huge in New York for a long, long time. Outside of Las Vegas, there's probably more betting going on with a local or underground bookie than anywhere else in the country.
What happens if they don't pay you? What happens if they pay you weeks later? What happens if the site just goes bankrupt or they shut it down and you go to log into your account and then you're asked out?
There's also the idea of consumer protections. People are going to bet no matter whether it's legal or not. You're providing a legal and safer way for people to bet. And I think that's what New York should really focus on when they're looking at legalizing online sports betting.
I think mobile sports betting in New York is not a question of if, but when. It's going to happen. And certainly the economics that the COVID pandemic has thrown upon us dictates that we really need to do it. The fact that right now in our state budget, we have roughly a $15 billion budget deficit that's growing. And if you include local governments and transportation and other, you're looking at a shortfall of about $50 billion.
But Governor Cuomo now has the football in his hand, and he's the best running back in the league because he's the governor. He is going to fully embrace mobile sports wagering and request that the legislatures in Albany continue to push this through.
So for those that don't know, mobile sports betting is going to become legal in New York. We can't bet on the apps unless we go into Jersey. How, I know we were messing around, but you think this is a game changer or what?
Yeah, I mean, for me, for sure. Well, for New Yorkers in general, we have to pay tolls every time we go over there too. It's like a $15 expense just going,
to lose more money
over the bridges, yeah, and gas money and all that stuff you factor in. So yeah, I mean, it'd be nice, as long as you could do it responsibly.
Now we don't have to call our friend's mom in New Jersey to put in our bets for FanDuel or DraftKings or whatever platform you're using. No, it's great.
With it being legalized and so accessible, how many more people do you think are going to be gambling because you could do it while you're taking a dump or while you're on the couch? Because I know I would.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I think if you bet on an app illegally, you're going to naturally gravitate towards the legal book. And now I think those folks that don't bet on an app but bet in person, they're going to be betting more because they can do it from the comforts of their own home. So I think that's the demographic of people that will be betting more is the one that do it the real way, because now you're going to really be able to do it legally, which is exciting. Hopefully those odds are in your favor, though, of course. But
it's always been the giant elephant in the room that no one wanted to say was there. I think if you're a sports fan, you bet in one way or another. Do you fill out an NCAA bracket? Do you play fantasy football? Do you play daily fantasy? Do you do eliminator pools? Do you do parlay cards? All that stuff, you're gambling, you're betting. When it got legalized, it was the craziest overstimulation that I felt in a long time, because it was validation on something that I knew was gonna happen eventually anyway. And my parents became more comfortable admitting that they did it and that I do it and that's what I'm known for and that's what I do. And it's hard to ignore when I'm building a brand, and at its core, sports betting is something that helps me become unique amongst a oversaturated market that is sports content.
I will watch games no matter what, whether I have bets on them or not, but I will definitely be watching a little bit more closely if I have a point spread bet or a player prop bet. It makes games more exciting.
There is a different investment that you have when you have money on something. Just across the board, when you are financially strapped to something or an outcome, your level of interest just skyrockets. So when you're at a sporting event and you have the ability to determine what the next outcome might be and have a financial investment on that as well, we're not even seeing the true ceiling for sports betting, because the live sports betting market is a completely different animal.
So I think it is part of our culture now. As more people are staying home and trying to find ways of entertainment, mobile sports betting and mobile device wagering is becoming the norm.
It is definitely helping my dreams and my aspirations come true, because it goes back to what I said from the beginning. It's my Trojan horse. It's going to be the thing that gets me through the door where I want to get to. It makes me unique. And then from there, the sky's the limit.